Welcome to the Winning with Shopify podcast. This is the podcast to help you scale your Shopify store into a money-making machine. This podcast is brought to you by Yotpo, the leading e-commerce marketing platform. Engage more with your customers through loyalty, SMS marketing, reviews, and more. All Winning with Shopify listeners can receive 30 days of text messages from Yotpo SMS Bump for free. Sign up today to start driving 25 times ROI with the easiest channel you'll ever build. Your host is Nick Truman. He's a Shopify expert and the CEO of JustAskParker.com, a global specialist marketing company for Shopify owners. Nick will be sharing his knowledge and interviewing the experts to help you thrive and build a business that makes you money. For exclusive offers, bonus content, and weekly episode reminders, join our mailing list at winningwithshopify.com. Now, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Here's your host, Nick Truman.
Hi everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Winning with Shopify podcast. For anybody who's not tuned in before, if you're part of that nice new listenership that I keep seeing in our stats, you are so welcome to be listening to the show. Welcome to the community. And it's your first time, so you've got absolutely nothing to lose, and we've got everything to gain as a new listener. If it does help, hit the subscribe button. We keep an eye on how many subscribers we've got. And the more you subscribe, then you get notifications on whatever platform you're listening to us on at the moment. We're on Spotify, iTunes, all of those sort of channels, anywhere you would expect to find us. And also on Amazon Alexa, and mine's just woken up across the room. Now, also a massive thank you to all the reviews we've had recently, all the comments coming into the website as well. I'm going to flag our website a little bit today because there's a couple of things I want you to do as a result of the conversation I'm about to have with a very special guest. Today, we're talking about a very, very important topic, and that topic is customer support or customer service. So how do you deal with things like customer complaints? How do you deal with reviews? How do you deal with customers sending messages in or questions about a particular product? If you're quite a small store, it's a nice, easy problem to deal with today. You just respond to it. But if all goes to plan and things start growing, you're going to need to do something to manage all of those messages, all those questions, all those things going on. Today's episode is sponsored by an amazing company that we've worked with a few times in the past as well, called Gorgias. And we're going to find out a lot more about that in a second. My very special guest, who I'm going to introduce now, is called Louis, and he's from Gorgias, and he's one of the expert partners of Just Ask Parker and also Winning with Shopify. So Louis, welcome to the show.
Hi, Nick. Thank you so much for having me today. So I'm very excited to speak about Gorgias, customer experience and customer support. Maybe just to introduce myself. So I'm Louis. I started at Gorgias 2 years ago. I've been working as a partner manager in the e-commerce ecosystem for 3 years and a half. Before, I used to work at Nosto, a recommendation and personalization solution for e-commerce. And now I'm working for Gorgias. So I know you already introduced Gorgias, but just as a reminder, Gorgias, we are a help desk and live chat solution for e-commerce. So basically, we connect our platform to your email, Facebook, Messenger, Instagram, chat, phone, and all the communication channels to help you to improve your customer support strategy. And today we have 8,000 customers and 90% of our customers are on Shopify. Just to let you know, when I started at Gorgias, like 2 years ago, we were maybe 25 people with 1,000 customers. And today we are 220 people and we have 8,000 customers.
Wow. I mean, we could do a whole episode on the growth of Gorgias, which we won't do today, but it's amazing to hear how much you guys have grown as well. Because I think the first time we worked with you guys was before I was involved in the podcast or Just Ask Parker. Would have been 3 or 4 years ago. And Gorgias back then was a tiny, as you've just said, a tiny little team. And there were still sort of features being released and certain things were in beta. So as you've just said, it's amazing to see the journey that you guys have been on. One thing to flag to all of our listeners today as well is this is not the only time we're going to have Gorgias or Louis on the podcast. So Louis is going to be back. And that's where I want to quickly plug the Winning with Shopify website. Not because there's any reason to go on there, apart from I want to hear from you guys. So if you've got any questions about customer support or as a result of listening to today's episodes, I'd love it if you could go to winningwithshopify.com and send us a quick message just saying, I've got a question about customer support. I would love to know more about this, or I would love to know how it works on social media, or how I can install live chat, or whether I should install live chat, or any questions like that. There's 3 already that you could send to us that I've just listed. So if you want to send us any questions, please do. And then when we get Louis back in the next few weeks, we can go through some of those questions, and we might even theme the entire episode around that. So again, I'll plug that at the end. But yeah, please go and send us some questions on there if you could. But Louis, first question, let's kick off today. What is customer support?
So it's a very good question. And what is funny is that when we use the word customer support, it sounds like a boring concept. Because for a lot of merchants, what is interesting is acquisition. But to be honest, customer support and acquisition have a huge link. Because basically, yes, when we talk about customer support, you have all the questions after the purchase and all the questions before the purchase. So you have two categories of questions, and it's very important to make this difference. This way you can drive revenue thanks to your customer support team. And yes, today it's more about customer experience, because basically I went to your website, I bought your product, then I have some questions about your product. If your customer support is reactive, if they personalize their answers, if resolution time is low, there is no reason why I will not come back to your website next time I need to buy something. If the experience is bad, if every time I send you a customer request, I have to wait 2 or 3 days, there is a high chance I'm going to find another website to buy my product.
Yeah, definitely. I think customers, certainly in this day and age, the expectation is that they get a quick response, isn't it? You want to get things quickly, especially if there is a problem. So talking about problems for a moment, we'll start with the negative and then we'll come on to the positive in a minute. What are some of the things that people would get in touch for? So if we've got any listeners that are new to Shopify, they've started their own store recently, they're quite, it's all a bit new to them. What are some of the things we would be expecting to receive from customers in terms of problems, negative things that we need to then deal with?
To answer this question, I think it's very important first to be able to make the difference between post-purchase questions and pre-purchase questions. So all the post-purchase questions, they are like, where is my order? I want an update about my shipping status. I want a refund. I want to cancel my order. And then you have all the questions before the purchase. So basically, you have a chat on your website. I like your product. And basically, I have a question. Yes, I have a question. I see you have this t-shirt in red, but do you have it in yellow? So first step, what is very important is to make the difference between post-purchase questions and pre-purchase questions. So segmentation is the key to have a successful customer support strategy. And at the end, the goal is to be able to decrease resolution time and automate all the post-purchase questions. So where is my order? I want a refund. I want to cancel my order. This way, you can spend much more time on all the other questions to drive revenue for your business. So when you start your business on Shopify, of course, first you are going to think about your product, your website, but customer support is the best way to improve your customer retention. And the first step is a good segmentation to make the difference between post-purchase questions and pre-purchase questions.
Cool. I love the idea of splitting them because, as you say, there's such different things between pre-purchase and post-purchase. And as you've said already, you've got to respond to any sort of customer engagement, like an email, chat, whatever. And we'll come on to what some of those things are later as well. But you've got to respond to it quickly, especially, I imagine, if it's pre-purchase, because surely if you don't respond to a pre-purchase question quickly, the chance of purchase now has decreased, hasn't it? Because if the next website down on Google, for example, has got a live chat function and they get the answer on live chat, you've already lost the sale, haven't you?
Exactly. And with a live chat, you need to have you need to be very reactive, because it's very frustrating when you go to a website, there is a live chat, you wait 1 minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, then basically you come back to Google and you find a competitor. So the live chat is one of the best way to drive revenue for your business. But as again, if you have a live chat, first you need to have a good segmentation to segment all the questions you receive thanks to the chat. And of course, you need to have people behind the chat. So my advice, if you start your business with Shopify and if you want to set up a chat on your website, what you should do is to open your chat 2 hours every day. This way you can be reactive during 2 hours, because if you start your business, if you are alone or if you are two co-founders, it's going to be very complicated to be reactive from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. every day. So you should add a line on your website, say, hey, if you have any questions, we have a chat from, I don't know, from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. to answer all the questions you have.
Nice. I love that idea. And I think let's stay on the thread of live chat just for a minute, because I know we might cover this again in the future. But with live chat especially, if people aren't online, it's an immediate thumbs down from the customer, isn't it? Especially if it's pre-purchase and you've got a question. What could you do when you're not online? Do you just turn the chat off, or actually is there more you could do so you don't completely lose that question or completely miss that customer?
So you have two options. So first, you can turn off your chat, but what you can do is to have your chat with a message say, hey, sorry, we are not online now, but if you send your message right now, we are going to come back to you in less than 24 hours. And basically, you can transfer all the questions from your chat to your Gorgias platform. This way, if you are not online now, you can come back to your customers in 2 or 3 hours. What is very important is to be transparent with your customers. If you have a live chat on your website, the message is like, okay, there are some people behind the chat. I have a question and I want my answer right now. If you are not available, it's not a good experience to have a chat on your website.
Cool. And I completely agree with that. I think the danger sometimes, and I've seen it on stores where you go on and the live chat is always offline and you feel like you just can't connect with these guys, and there's no message to say our live chat's only available 2 hours a day, and I think sometimes as well, even just being honest and saying we're a small business, therefore we don't have the capacity to man the phones or be on live chat all the time. Therefore, we'll be online between these 2 hours or these 3 hours a day. I think it's a really good option. I think it's a great way to do that. Let's talk about post-purchase then. So again, with post-purchase, do you think you've got a bit longer to get back to customers than pre-purchase? Would you say both should just be as fast as possible? If you've got lots of messages, should you prioritize pre-purchase or post-purchase? What are your thoughts?
So it's a very good question, because for all the post-purchase questions, the goal is to decrease resolution time and automate most of the questions. Because when the question is, yes, I would like an update about my shipping status, I want a refund, I want to cancel my order, all these questions are very repetitive. And all our customers, we help them to automate all these questions. This way, they can spend much more time on all the pre-purchase questions. And this way, you can personalize all the pre-purchase questions. Because if you spend all your life answering to questions like, where is my order, where is my order, where is my order, you don't have time to drive revenue for your business. It's not possible. So that's why automation is a very interesting topic for customer support. But at Gorgias, some of our customers, they automate between 20 and 30% of customer requests. And it doesn't seem big, but it's big. Because if you want to automate all your questions, there is a high chance it's going to be like a bad experience for all your customers. Because basically, when someone spends maybe like £500 or £600 or $500 on your website, if I have a question, I don't want an automated answer. I want you to spend time to answer my question with all the elements. If the answer is disappointing, so yes, next time I have to buy a similar product, I'm going to find a competitor.
Yeah, definitely. No, I think it's a really good point, and certainly with the automation, I think if we'll come back to automation a little bit later, but just to make the point quickly, I think having those questions in advance is great, and I think there's probably some other uses for those in terms of web content and everything as well. So yeah, we'll come on to that in a second. But in terms of the actual responses, then, at the moment for a small organization, say you get 1 or 2 messages a day, it's nice and easy to keep up to date with that. But as soon as you're starting to get to, I don't know, 50 or 100 or more messages per day, I think a big question on this is, how do you keep some of those things personalized? So how do you avoid just typing in the same generic message? Because I'm sure for most customers, they're probably similar to me, where if I think something's been copy and pasted and sent to me and they've not fully understood my question, you always feel a bit disappointed. And again, that means I'm not going to come back and buy again. So how do you keep those messages so personalized?
The first step of everything is segmentation. It's not possible to talk about automation and personalization if you don't have a good segmentation. So segmentation between post and pre-purchase question, but also segmentation by topic, shipping status, refund, cancellation, and all the different topics. Segmentation by communication channel, and also, why not, segmentation by language. When you have a good segmentation, so by good segmentation, I mean like at least 70% of your customer request with a tag, like a small word to segment your customer request, then we can talk about automation and personalization. So as again, the goal is to automate all the post-purchase questions. This way you have much more time to personalize all the pre-purchase questions to drive revenue for your business. So yes, if you have one or two people in your customer support team, of course, you need to personalize, you need to automate, and it's going to be the best way to improve your customer retention. But it's not possible to talk about personalization and automation without a good segmentation.
Yeah, definitely. And I think as well with some of certainly the post-purchase questions and probably some of the pre-purchase questions as well, I guess there's an opportunity with some of that data, some of the learnings of, say, 50% of your customers all ask, where is my order? Doing something to your order confirmation page and your order confirmation emails to give them an idea, and even pre-purchase, to give them an idea of how long it's going to take for the order to turn up, that can start to actually remove the customer service inquiries in the first place, can't it?
Exactly. And that's why at Gorgias now we have a new feature called the chatbot self-server. This way, when you go to the website, there is the chat, you can open it. And if you add your email address and your tracking number, you have all the information about your order. So the shipping status, if you want to make a refund, if you want to cancel an order. This way you automate all these questions. And as again, you have less repetitive customer requests for your customer support team.
Cool. I mean, it certainly sounds like a good new feature. And I have to be honest, I didn't know that when I asked the question, but I think it sounds brilliant. So that would use your customer data with it within Shopify to obviously do the search up. Gorgias is just the feature actually on the page doing, it's just the tech in the middle, isn't it? So you type in your email address, your customer ID number or order reference number, and it automatically pulls the info. Does that then mean if that customer then comes through to have a conversation with somebody, they're also armed with all of that data, so they have the customer's order open, ready to have a chat, rather than saying, give me 5 minutes and I'll look into this for you?
Yeah, exactly. Because if you want to be reactive, you need to have all the information about your customers in front of you. And that's why at Gorgias, every time we have a customer request, we match the information we have with Shopify. This way you have all the information in the sidebar. Yes, at Gorgias, as I said, like 90% of our customers are on Shopify. So every time we improve our product, every time we launch new features, it's for Shopify. And that's why today we are the first help desk solution in the Shopify ecosystem.
Amazing. I mean, that's quite a title as well, given how much customer service is required for the average e-commerce store. So yeah, I mean, well done. Let's move on to the next bit then. Let's start talking about individual. I mean, you referenced them when we were talking earlier before we started recording. You referenced them as channels. So what are some of the different channels? Like what would you consider a channel when it comes to customer experience / customer support?
Basically, we could talk about email, chat, Facebook, Messenger, Instagram, phone, and there are a lot of communication channels because today your customers are everywhere. Let's take the example of Black Friday, Cyber Monday. You have a lot of customer requests. Someone has a question, so I send you an email, no answer. I go to your website, I see that you have a chat. I'm going to ask the same question. I'm going to wait 1, 5, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and then maybe I'm going to leave a negative comment on social media. But basically, I ask the same question on 3 communication channels. That's why today it's very important to merge all your communication channel in one single platform, because for the merchants, it's a waste of time if you have one platform by communication channel. And for me, as a client, it might be a bad experience if I have one different answer by communication channel. So first, you need to be everywhere and you need to have all your communication channels in one single platform.
Cool. I think it's such a good example that if you've got, for example, if you hadn't seen that they had then gone on social media, which is obviously public, you've got a much bigger problem on your hands, haven't you? Because at this stage, they're going to be saying things that other potential customers might see, especially if they say in their message that, I've got a very simple question and they're not responding to me. But also, as you say, responding once, not 3 times. But that response, I'm assuming, could actually go out on all 3 channels. So anybody who's looking at any of those channels will see that it's been responded to.
Exactly. And social media is an interesting communication channel because, yes, so when you have negative comments on social media, you need to be reactive. But same, if we take the example of positive comments, if someone left a positive comment about your brand, like, oh, I tag one of my best friend, I love this product, we should buy this product right now. So there is someone in the world who is currently thinking about your product. So you need to start a conversation with this person right now, like, hey, thank you so much for your comments. I would like to invite you to our VIP days in 1 week. And this way you start the conversation, and it's the best way to grow your community. Because yes, today, if you start your business on Shopify, what is important is to create an audience and to create a community around your product.
Yeah, definitely. And we've had so many guests on the show talking about community building and also learning from the community. And I think that's another good point. We'll come back to the channels in a sec, because I think it'd be good to go through some of them and get some ideas on what to do there. But just in terms of feedback from customers, there is so much to learn from customer support, isn't there? And we've spoken to a few businesses in the past where they just, you don't know what you don't know. They hadn't actually thought to connect up customer service with marketing, for example, to discover that a lot of the questions they get in, they could not get those questions by changing something on the marketing side of things. Or the product team can actually improve the product because everybody calls up to say, it's an amazing product, but there's one bit of it that always breaks, or it doesn't work properly for what I'm trying to use it for. Can I order a spare part? And then actually the product team could say, well, we could adapt the products, that no longer is a problem. Or actually we could sell spares on the website and make some more money from selling spare parts with guides on how to change things. There's also a new law that I'm pretty sure you guys have got in the EU as well as we've got in the UK now, which, given that you're in France right now, we won't cover anything to do with the EU, just because of all the politics. But certainly there's a new rule now that retailers, you have to offer a replacement or spares or fix, don't you? The idea being that we send less things to landfill and just throw things in the bin. So like I say, there's a lot that can be learned, I think, from customer service. So what are some of the ways people can document some of those things to, as I say, improve web content, improve product, and try and avoid problems and make more good scenarios and good use cases of customers in the future?
So yes, so basically if you have a good segmentation with your customer support platform, so basically if you have a good segmentation in Gorgias, you have access to statistics. And statistics are the best way to know what is working and what is not working with your business. Because let's imagine, like 2 months ago, you had an increasing number of customer requests about the bad quality of one of your products. It's not a problem with your customer support. It's a problem with your e-commerce strategy. So yes, so if you want to build a customer support strategy, the first step is segmentation. So as I said, segmentation by topics. Where is my order? I want a refund. I want to cancel my order. I want to change my product, etc. By communication channel and by languages. So it's, if you start a new business on Shopify, it's a very good way to start your segmentation. And once you have a good segmentation, you have access to statistics. And this way, every month, every quarter, you can check, okay, so last quarter, I had like a peak of customer requests about this product, about this specific product. So maybe we should change something. So yes, so when we talk about customer support, so as I said, I don't love the word customer support because it sounds like a boring word. But yes, if you have a good segmentation thanks to your customer experience platform, basically it's the best way to improve your e-commerce strategy.
Cool. And I think certainly those reports sound really interesting. As I was sort of alluding to with the question is, what can we learn from this? How do we apply that, etc.? So I think, yeah, absolutely brilliant to get an idea as to, as you say, is it a product problem? Is it an e-commerce problem? Is it a customer support problem? Is it a delivery problem? I mean, it's one of those things that if you knew what all the problems were, it'd be a lot easier to fix them. And sometimes you're sitting there thinking, why do we only sell one product to each customer? Okay, well, customer support is a good place to start, or even sending out a customer feedback survey. We had a client who did that today, and absolutely eagerly waiting the results to see what customers think of the website, what they think of the product, what they think of how to buy things, what to buy, etc. So yeah, again, hearing from customers is really important. So let's talk about channels then. We've spoken about live chat in quite a bit of detail. Let's talk about email next. So what are some of your ideas or some of your learnings from what Gorgias clients are doing on email? What are some good things you can be doing with email to get some more learnings, to deal with customer inquiries, automation, etc.?
It's interesting because email also, it sounds like an old way to communicate with customers. But if we take the example of all our customers at Gorgias, it's the first communication channel. So basically, thanks to Gorgias, you can create macros. So a macro is a pre-made email template with Shopify information inside. This way, every time you have an email, every time you receive an email in Gorgias, you can choose a macro, and this way you can decrease resolution time every time you need to answer one email. So we talk about the chat, and with the chat, the resolution time must be very low. But with email, you have like 2 hours, 3 hours, or 4 hours. It depends on the vertical and it depends on the product. But yes, with email, as again, you need to be reactive and you need to personalize your answer. So if we take the example of where is my order? So a very repetitive question. So what you can do is first to have a macro with all the Shopify information, like a shipping status, like a shipment date, and all the information related to the shipping status. This way, if someone is like, okay, I would like to have an update about my shipping status. So, hey, Nick, thank you for your email. Here are all the information about your shipping status, blah, 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 blah. And basically, you can go to the next level because you can say, in addition to that, I would like to let you know that you have, 100 points on your loyalty account. And in 20 points, you are going to be a VIP customer. So as a customer, it's an amazing experience because I sent you an email to have an update about my shipping status. So first, I have all the information. And in addition to that, I have some information about your loyalty program. So it's the proof that you know who I am.
Nice. And I love the fact as well, if you start plugging loyalty programs in a customer response email, the chance of them coming back and going, oh yeah, if I make one more purchase, for example, I get my next level of loyalty, I get 50% off my next order or whatever. It's another way I think you can turn that email that you've got from a customer into a sales opportunity. But actually, it's not heavy-handed. It's not, somebody complaining and you're saying, well, just go and spend more money. There's a bit more to it than that, which is nice. I think it works well. So we've spoken about live chat. We've mentioned social media. We've spoken about email. What other channels might we be looking at when we're talking about customer support and customer experience?
So I would like to talk again about social media, because when we talk about social media, we talk about Facebook, Messenger, Instagram. And on social media, we have 3 categories of messages: positive comments, negative comments, and questions. And what is interesting is that most of the time, merchants spend a lot of money on Facebook and Instagram, but there is not always a strategy to answer all the comments on Facebook and Instagram. And as again, the key to be responsive, to be reactive with all the comments on social media is segmentation. So thanks to Gorgias, you can segment all your comments between positive comments, negative comments, and questions. And this way, you can be very reactive with negative comments, and you can start a conversation every time there is a positive comment. Because we talked about that like a few minutes ago. But yes, if someone is like, I love this product, I should buy it now, for you, it's an opportunity to start a conversation, maybe to share a discount code or to invite this person to your VIP days in 1 week. So each comment on Facebook and Instagram is an opportunity for you to start a conversation and maybe to generate revenue for your business. And same for negative comments, because if you have negative comments, everybody can read negative comments. What is important is to be reactive, but also proactive.
Cool. I love the fact that you can actually manage all the comments on there, because I know from speaking to quite a lot of store owners, a real challenge is having to log into all the different systems, isn't it? Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter. So even being able to respond to, normally you can respond to messages from one platform, but being able to respond to comments quickly as well, especially with automation, predefined messages, that sort of thing, it all starts to come together, doesn't it? It starts to make everything quite easy, and meaning that you don't have to have, which I know from earlier years of business, having sort of 30 or 40 different things open at any one time, keeping an eye on all of them. You can just have one platform open with all of these different things going on. It must be a massive time saver as well for somebody, business owner of a small company that's going to be incredibly busy. Cool. So what other systems are we looking at then? Is that pretty much it in terms of the main ones?
So the main communication channels are email, chat, Facebook, Messenger, Instagram, phone, and of course there are other communication channels like WhatsApp, for example. So at Gorgias, we are currently working on a new integration with WhatsApp, because today it's also an amazing way to interact with your customers. And yes, and I think that during our next podcast, we are going to focus on one communication channel. So if you have any preferences, don't hesitate to let us know.
Cool. No, it sounds good. When you're working with customer experience then and customer service, I guess one of the most difficult things is when a customer emails you, or let's say when they contact you through any channel, and the customer themselves you think are just being really, really difficult. What are some of the ways that you can deal with that without getting obviously really upset and feeling quite down about it? Someone saying, I don't know, just as a scenario, I ordered this product, it's awful, the quality's rubbish, I want a refund, this is terrible. What are some of the ways that you should start to deal with that sort of difficult customer? I think we've all experienced one at least in the past.
If you work for a customer support team, what is important to know is that the customer is always right. So
Okay.
yes, if I had a bad experience with your website, yes, it's very important to take the time to find a solution. And that's why, as again, it's very important to automate the segmentation of your negative messages. This way you can spend much more time to find a solution. Because if someone is like, okay, I ordered on your website like 1 month ago and I haven't received anything, what is going on? So yes, so if you automate this answer, it's going to be like a very bad customer experience.
Mm-hmm.
If you automate the tagging of this message as a negative comment, you can send it to your, to one specific customer support agent. And this customer support agent is going to spend more time to find an answer. So basically, when you have, everybody has negative comments, and if you create your business on Shopify, a lot of people are going to love your product, but you are going to have a few people who, who have problems with your product, with your delivery. There are like a lot of reasons why they will not be happy with your product. What is important is to take the time to have a conversation and to find a solution. Because if basically I have a bad experience with your website and with your product, I send you an email. One day after, I have the answer. The answer is not perfect. So I'm going to send another email. I have to wait 24 hours. It's a very bad experience. So yes, if someone has a bad experience, maybe a good idea is to start a conversation with the chat, and this way you can be reactive and also you can find a solution.
Cool. No, I think it's certainly a good idea to have automation to, as you say, perhaps tag that there's been a complaint from this customer, it needs to be dealt with, but then actually spending some time to really deal with that. Because no business wants any bad press or any sort of major problems to start cropping up or, creating big problems for them. I think we need to make sure that we do deal with the customers where things have gone wrong. And as you say, make sure you come to some sort of resolution. Turning over the coin then, looking at the other side of that, when you get a really, really good bit of customer feedback, somebody says, oh, I absolutely love the business, just wanted to tell you this product's great, this is what I use it for, etc. There's some more things you can do with that, isn't there? You can you could maybe ask them to leave a review or something like that when you do get good customer engagement.
Yes, exactly. So at Gorgias, we have integration with a lot of review solution like Yotpo, for example. And yes, when you have an amazing conversation with a customer, when you have a positive comment on social media, same. It's very important to take this information to be able to drive revenue and to grow your community. If someone left a positive comment on social media, if you are reactive with this positive comment, if you invite these people to your special day in 1 week or 2 weeks, everybody is going to see your answer. And this way, everybody is going to be very motivated to leave positive comments. So yes, with positive comments, as again, you need to be reactive. But of course, it's not possible to be reactive with all your questions. And that's why, as again, first step is a good segmentation. This way you can automate all the post-purchase questions. If they are like, if the question is just like, where is my order? If the question is like, okay, I ordered something on your website 1 month ago, I don't have any update, it's not a good idea to automate this answer. But the goal is to automate as many questions as you can. And this way you can spend more time on positive questions and negative questions.
Cool. No, I think certainly there's always that element when we talk to clients of there's lots of good stuff going on. There's people buying products. So we're sort of scratching our heads a bit thinking, where are all the reviews? So it's always good to find ways that you can gently or at the right time, obviously when you're having a conversation with a happy client or a happy customer, it's always good to find the right time to start having those conversations about, could you leave us a good review? Because that review then, it starts to feed the machine, doesn't it? Those reviews go out onto Trustpilot or FIFO or Yotpo. New potential customers see that, increase the chance of them buying, and the business grows and we all make more money. So I think it's, certainly a good thing to keep in mind. Well, look, let's start bringing things down into land now. What would you say then if we were to give the top few tips to people in terms of customer service? Like, what are the top sort of 3 or 5 things they should be doing on customer service, customer support, customer experience, whatever you want to call it? What are some of the top things they should be focused on as a result of listening to this podcast and going forward?
So first, thanks again for having me today to talk about customer support, customer experience, and Gorgias. And just a few tips to conclude this conversation. So as again, segmentation. Segmentation is the first step for a successful customer support strategy. So segmentation by topics, segmentation by communication channel, and segmentation by languages. And then we can talk about automation and personalization. Second tips. So yes, a good segmentation is to be able to make the segmentation between post-purchase questions and pre-purchase questions. This way you can automate all the post-purchase questions and you can spend more time on the pre-purchase questions to generate revenue for your business. And to finish with social media. So yes, if you launch a new brand or a new product, there is a high chance you are going to spend money on Facebook and Instagram. And yes, if you spend money on Facebook and Instagram, each comment is an opportunity for you to start a conversation and to grow your community. But maybe we can talk about that during our next podcast.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, one of the ideas that's been floated when we get Louis back on the show is to talk about social media and the links between customer experience, customer support, and social media itself. But yeah, lots more to be explored. We've got a few episodes that we're just penciling in times now over the next couple of months. So certainly stay tuned for those. But Louis, so many learnings from today. So I want to say a massive thank you. It's been great having you on the show.
Thanks again for having me, Nick. Looking forward to the next one. And of course, if the audience has any questions about Gorgias, customer support and customer experience, I think you can find my email on the description and you can add me on LinkedIn. Of course.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Yep. We'll definitely, when we post this podcast, when you're listening back, we'll make sure the email's in the description. Otherwise, Gorgias, just check out the website. It's Gorgias, which might spell gorgeous in some country, but it's definitely not the English spelling. It's a classic tech company changing the rules. But yeah, Gorgias. As I say, every single week, we'll be back again next week. Thank you so much for listening. It's been great to have you on the show today, Louis. And we hope you're all staying safe.
Thanks for listening to today's podcast. You can subscribe to our weekly newsletter for exclusive offers at winningwithshopify.com. And don't forget to check out our Facebook group by searching for Winning with Shopify on Facebook. Over and out.